Welcome back to the Cornwall Civic Complex. The referee for this afternoon's game is Paul Coleman, and the linesmen are Chris Emart and Steve Corleone.
Steve Corleone?
I'm sorry, yes, Corleone.
Oh, I wouldn't argue with him.
Cornwall goaltender this afternoon is Rob Dykeman, 24 games played, a 4.82 GA with a 10-14-0 record, a real up-and-comer, and he's going to backstop this Royals team along with teammate Elpo Kohanen for many years to come. And the Royals, as you can see, in white and blue, and Fred Brathwaite wearing number 30 for the Oshawa Generals in his second season with the Gens, and comes into this one with 26 games played, a 3.63 GA and 16-5-2. Generals in red and the Royals in blue and white, and we're underway with David Kravich, number 5 for the Generals, and the veteran defenseman will send it down in the Royal zone. Played up along the boards, gets by Stevenson. Kravich a shot, and it's deflected in front and just wide. Scramble for it at the side of the net. Dale Craigwell tees it up a shot, and he puts it right on the money. Lewick off the boards. It will be at the top of the circle and lost as it's steered out to center ice by Ryan Vandenbush of the Royals, number 8. At center, Scott Lewick accepting it there, and they will bring the face-off back into the Oshawa zone. And Scott Lewick, one of 2 overage players, as you take a look at Dave LeMay at the other end of the spectrum, a youngster drafted out of Welland in the 6th round.
Generals are off to a fairly fast start, forechecking and using a little bit of rough stuff on the boards and creating a play towards the net where B.J. McPherson screened Dykeman in the net. Play went to the corner. Craigwell turns around, takes the slap shot, creating a fine offensive opportunity.
Off the draw, it will be cleared by the Gens at center, and Mike Cavanaugh will play it in. It's quickly cleared back out. Bouncing puck is pulled down. In over the line, a shot by Lafayette, and the first save of the game for Fred Brathwaite, and the second quickly followed. Scramble at the side of the goal. It's knocked off into the corner, and it will be taken away by the Oshawa Generals at center. Pearson can't come up with it. Knocked back by Cavanaugh. It's on the wing and played into the General zone and into the left wing corner. Played off the boards by Jan Benda. And at center, Vanica, a former General and one of the other overages on this Royal squad. There's Dykeman with a save off Hoffman, and another chance in front as Lindros backhands it in front. Off the boards, J.P. Davis, number 1 draft pick for the Generals 2 years ago. Up on the right wing for Vanica. He'll outlet to center ice. Taking the pass, and offside is number 19, Rival Fulham. We are scoreless in the early going of this game between the Oshawa Generals and Cornwall Royals.
Many Canadians live in isolated areas. They visit the city to take in the culture, the fine restaurants, the symphony, the theater, and genuine Canadian beer. Molson Canadian, what beer's all about.
Prior to today's game, a presentation was made to Cornwall's Tom Nemeth, and Tom was presented with his Trans-America Light Plus Minus Award by John Raymond of the John K. Raymond Agency. Tom was tops in Cornwall's plus minus stats during the second segment, and Tom received an engraved plaque and a $50 cash award, as well as an additional $50 pledged in Tom's name to his alma mater, the St. Catharines Minor Hockey Association. Scoreless opening period. So far, we are early, and it's crushed up along the boards. It comes loose, and Sandy will play it down in deep and wide of the Oshawa goal. Centering attempt by Schneider. He will be picked off the boards and cleared out at center, and Sandy will wait for it there and then propel it back in. Number 3 for the Generals, Canada native Trevor Burgess. Behind the net will play it for Grieve, and it's off a glove, and we'll have a face-off with 1:59 gone in this opening period.
Ian, almost a calm start. I mean, we were sort of expecting the roof to cave in because Oshawa scored so many goals this week.
Yes, I think that what they're probably doing is just feeling each other out a little bit. As I was mentioning to you earlier, I think that sometimes there's a little bit of a psychological imbalance here because the Generals know they got a first-place match in North Bay tomorrow, and I think they're going to take it easy for a while and see what happens, and if they don't have to push themselves, they may not do that.
3 games in a row, the Generals have hit double figures. 10-5 in Kingston last night, 10-2 over the Frontenacs on Tuesday, and beat London in London 11-3 on Sunday. So far, we are scoreless. Craig Lutz, who had a hat trick in one of those games, will play it down into the Cornwall zone. Off the boards for Jeremy Stevenson. And Stevenson, number 12 for Cornwall, to Guy Levesque, the Royals' leading point producer. Hands off to Stevenson, but he's held up by Wade Simpson in the left wing corner. Centering pass right out in front by Levesque. Set up to the blue line. There's a shot by Smith, and it's blocked, and out to center it goes. And Smith will play it back in on a delayed offside. Taken at the Royals line. Sandy on his backhand, almost intercepted by Lutz. He's able to steer it in behind the Royals goal, and it's cleared around for Stevenson on the left wing boards, and he quickly has company. David Kravitz, shot right point, rebound, backhand shot in front. Taken by Weaver, and the Royals will clear that out to safety. From center, pass is blocked. Stevenson looking for some room over the line, will take the shot, and a pad save by Brathwaite. Played off the boards out at center ice. Nemeth feeding it over to his right. It will be taken by LeMay. Rolled in along the boards. And Simpson will outlet to Lewick at center. Scott Lewick joined the Generals last year in midseason after playing for Miami of Ohio. NCAA hockey. Draft pick of the New Jersey Devils. Out at center with a good burst of speed. Here is Shane Gaffar. Sharp angle, and he puts it right on the stick. Side of the net. Rolled out in front, and a backhander, and Gaffar just couldn't pull the trigger. Craigwell heads to the side of his goal. Now behind the net. Plays it up off the left wing boards. He will come all the way down into the Royal zone, icing the indication. And we will have a face-off back in the Oshawa zone, and we are still scoreless. As we take a look at how these teams fare as far as the standings, and you can see there is a 30-point difference between the Generals, who moved into first place with a win in Kingston last night, and also 4 games in hand against North Bay. That will likely end up being the telling tale. And the Royals not officially eliminated, mathematically at least. However, it would take a miracle not only for the way they play, but they're going to have to count on the teams ahead of them to go into a bad streak. The good news is it doesn't show on the ice in the first 4 minutes. This is a team, the Royals are, as we alluded to earlier. They are an up-and-coming hockey club. They don't lose many players next season, so this is the time where they bite the bullet and get ready for a good year in 91-92. 4 minutes into the opening period. We are scoreless, and the play is deep in the Oshawa zone. J.P. Davis behind his net. Turns a game. Swearing out the ice back there. On the right side for Benda. Plays it up on the boards, and it will be taken by Chad Sampson. And he was a late addition to the Cornwall lineup this afternoon, and we'll tell you more about that in a moment. We are scoreless in Cornwall, and this is the OHL Game of the Week on the Global Television Network. Oshawa Generals coach Rick Kornackia looking for another championship this season. His team ranked #1 in the country. Formerly with Kingston, but for many years an assistant coach with the Generals, and then he stepped in last season. And first year. We talked to him earlier before the game. You'll hear that interview a little later on in the broadcast today. Face-off is outside of the Royals blue line, and it's won by Cornwall and Nathan Lafayette, an acquisition in a deal with Kingston. And Lafayette rated rather high. You could see him as a potential first-rounder in Buffalo this year at the NHL draft. Offside Cornwall.
Plays a little bit sluggish to start the game off. I really don't think that there's a real element of intensity on the part of the Generals, and I certainly can see Cornwall's attempting to forecheck in deep. As you notice, 5 men are inside the blue line.
Eric Lindros with the face-off opposite Nathan Lafayette. A game won by Lafayette, and Kavanaugh will smash it into Oshawa territory. In the corner, Grieve ahead on the boards. And he is the second member of that family to play for Oshawa. Both of them were there last year, Brent and Brian. Loose puck in front of the net is swept away. Into the right wing corner. Up along the boards, it's knocked loose. Here is number 6, Rob Pearson for the Gens. And he still has it along the boards. Now he's knocked off the puck, but a good second effort. He almost got it in front successfully. Royals thought, at least the crowd thought, that should have been a penalty. His rival Fulham was hauled down, and Paul Coleman says no. Chad Sampson Getting it out to center ice. Pearson will take the pass, coming in over the line with Hoffman trailing. Pearson draws off to the board, throwing it back in the middle, moving in, and a shot right on by Burgess. Rebound in front. Lindros' second crack at it. And the Royals will get it out of the slot area, but the Gens get it back quickly. Green with a shot, and it trickles just wide. That was touched in front. Lindros along the boards. It comes out in front for Hoffman. He won't get the shot away. And in behind the net, Lindros using his reach on Kavanaugh, but Kavanaugh ties up the Oshawa Star. Burgess passing right out in front of shot, and it rebounds and pinballs wide, and it will be cleared back along the boards. And at the moment, the Royals have dodged a major bullet or two along the way as it's sent down deep into Oshawa territory. Mark Crawford is glad for the chance to change lines and get some fresh troops out there. Scoreless, 6 minutes into the opening period. Teasley sending it in. Jeff Smith up on right wing as the Royals now go to offense. Vandenbush tucks it down in the left wing corner after it himself, but it's played off the boards but not out. Stevenson with a centering attempt. Teasley picks it off with a drop pass, and out at center the puck is up for grabs. Smith having trouble controlling it. Hall has stepped in there, and now he's dumped on the play. Loose puck in front, and it's shot at by Teasley. And a good stop at the Cornwall net by Dykman. Out at center. Stevenson will take the pass from Levesque. Rolls it in front, nobody there. Teasley off the boards, but not out. Guy Levesque will roll it ahead. And the Generals will take that one. That one pinballs in the corner, and Levesque first man on it behind the goal. Guy Levesque centering in front, and it's stopped, and Kravich laying it up on the left wing. And the Gens will clear it out center ice. Joel Sandy plays it back in. Kravich will give chase, and he in turn is being pursued by Chris Clancy. And there is a collision out in front of the goal, and a shot wide. Royals coming back with some pressure of their own. Along the boards, Schneider trying to get loose, centering one in front, and the Royals had nobody parked there. Sandy shot left point, and that one changed direction. And the Gens are going to get rid of it. There will be no icing on this play. And now Rick Kornacki says, get off the ice. We need some fresh poise out there. No score. 7.5 minutes into the opening period from the Cornwall Civic Complex. Bouncing puck at the line will be cleared out to center by Davis and intercepted. Clancy can't squeeze through on the boards. In there will be Craigwell with a pass behind the net. And Jan Benda will take it for the Oshawa Generals. Pass is broken up at center by LeMay. Crowd getting anxious for a penalty here, and they are going to get it by the looks of it. The first penalty of the contest.
Jan Benda got to stick up a little high, and he's probably going to go off for cross-checking. But we're going to get a look at this play. Here, Jan with the stick right up in the face of the Cornwall player. Clancy looks around at him, but thinks the better of it, and Jan's got 2 minutes. I think that Cornwall certainly, with Clancy's line, certainly had some great pressure in the Oshawa zone there and creating a lot of great offensive opportunities. And if they can possibly keep it going now with the man advantage, they could get a surprising early 1-0 lead.
On the other end, Dykman has come up big a couple of times, and I don't want to say goalies are quirky because we have an ex-goalie in the booth, but this guy's a pet snake.
What's his name?
Ralph.
Sir.
It's actually right along the goal line.
Yeah,
It's a red one.
Was earlier in the play, yes.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. The Generals just couldn't really gain a lot of control around the net. There was a lot of loose pucks, but in several open net opportunities, but they couldn't quite redirect it into the open net.
You mentioned at the outset, Jimmy, that John Slenny is out of the lineup and will be probably for another month or so. And what a difference he makes on the Cornwall specialty teams, especially the power play. They're missing a quarterback. Moving in, Lafayette scores! They did not need a quarterback on that play as Lafayette moves in from the left wing.
Well, this is a very, very interesting goal because not only does Lafayette make a beautiful play, he makes the Oshawa defenseman J.P. Davis look on a one-on-one look very weak to the outside, comes in, and as you notice, Brathwaite starts to drop. He's over to his right too much, his left too much, and gives the upper short side. Beautiful shot by Lafayette. Here he is coming in now around J.P. Davis, in on the left side. He's basically got one hand on the puck at that point. Freddie goes down, and boom, there it is, up over his right shoulder, short side. I think Freddie be the first to tell you that he misplayed that. He should have been on his feet all the way.
There's the goaltender coach talking.
Yes.
Nathan Lafayette with his 20th goal of the season and a power play goal as the Royals draw first blood in this contest.
Actually, Jack, I'm glad you ducked. Ian shot out the right hand in that play in the booth. It was awful.
Somebody gave me a coffee.
Off the boards, Corey Bannica will clear to center ice. Cornwall 1. Oshawa no score, and here's Corey Bannica with a loose disc in over the line. Bannica tries to draw to the middle. However, Simpson wouldn't let him go. Collision up along the boards, and we have a whistle coming up. And possibly a penalty as Paul Coleman blew the play dead. And the Royals will be penalized, leading 1-0. This is the OHL game of...
Jack, you didn't have to spill the whole case on you earlier today. I mean, it's brutal up here.
That's kind of strong stuff, but I do smell very nice if I say so myself. And I'd have to, I guess.
There's a crowd of people that'll disagree with you.
Well, I noticed they cleared in the seats in front of the press box. Maybe I put it on a little too thick. Out at center. Oshawa power play running at about 25% this season, but it's going to start from deep in the Oshawa zone as the Royals will clear it down. Scott Lewick going back behind the net will try and get things started here. Lewick up on the right wing as it's mishandled by Lindros, just staying onside his rival Fulham. He centered it in front, and Reed can't get there in time. Off the boards again, Fulham unsuccessful with the centering attempt as it's picked off by Lindros. Drop back to Lewick, and now the Generals will start up ice. Left wing for J.P. Davis. Comes slowly over the line, lobs it in the corner. Jeff Smith on that behind the net. He'll try and force a whistle if he can, but the puck came loose. Back to the point. Lewick takes the shot, came through, pat save, rebound, scramble in front of the goal. Davis to the side of the net. They move it out in front, and they don't get it on goal. And Rob Pearson will peel out of the corner with a pass back to the blue line. Scott Lewick, number 14, a drive, and a change direction in front of the goal. In behind the Cornwall net they go as Pearson playing it back to the point, but Davis had come in on the play, and the puck will come safely out to center ice with 42 seconds left in the penalty to Corey Bannica. Dale Craigwell, number 16. Splendid young centerman. Third season in the league. Back to Lewick. Rolls it right out in front. Lindros, quick shot. Rebound, they score. And easy pickings for Rob Pearson.
It was only a matter of time before the Generals finally picked up one of those rebounds. Dyken had been making all the saves he had to make, but the only problem was there were several loose pucks around the net. The Generals finally took advantage of it. There's Eric taking the puck in front, and Pearson going to the rebound and putting it up over a sprawled Rob Dykeman.
In total control for the length of that power play.
Here you are, Scott Lewick up the middle to Eric. He intercepts, throws it at the pads of Dykeman. Dykeman tries a two-pad slide to his right, and Rob picks up the rebound, puts it high over the prone Dykeman. That was a good power play for the Generals. They retained strong possession overall.
They don't have a shot clock here in Cornwall, but I'd be willing to bet you that Dykeman faced at least 4 or 5 shots before the Generals tie up the score at 10 minutes even. And Rob Pearson and Eric Lindros keep respective point-scoring streaks intact with that goal. And for Rob Pearson, his 29th of the season. Have an offside call at the Cornwall line. We are tied at 1. The Royals and the Generals. This is the OHL Game of the Week on Global.
There's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking. George and Frank both started saving for retirement back in 1977. Every taxation year since then, they've invested the same number of dollars in tax-sheltered RSPs at the same rates of interest. The difference is that Frank talked to Scotiabank before he began, and what he learned helped put him thousands of dollars ahead. Find out how to make the most of your future at any Scotiabank branch.
Face off outside of the Royals blue line. Guy Levesque opposite. Claire Cornish for the draw. Burgess from center spanks it in wide of the net. In off the boards, Deasley lets it go. His shot in front and change direction and scores. May have jumped in off Scott Hollis.
Looked like it was directed in with a skate from here. Maybe we'll take a look at it and see what actually happened. The referee's going to count it.
I thought Scott Hollis may have got a stick on it, but regardless of that, if you watch the determination on Scott Hollis, one of those unsung heroes that the Generals have got playing for them, he goes to the net, which he should be doing, beats the defenseman, and redirects it if he did get it. It's hard to tell from the replay, but certainly it was redirected from the slot area. But the basics of the game, going to the net like that with the play, were illustrated well by Scott Hollis on that play.
So the Generals obviously got the wake-up call. Say for the first 5 minutes, they're controlling the game with ease right now.
And a former General, Corey Bannock, opened the gates with that penalty. It led to the power play goal.
Scott Hollis with his 18th goal of the season at 10:31, and the Gens have the lead at 2-1. Back in the Oshawa zone. Carried by Trevor Burgess. Pulls to the outside and then plays to the wing as he's rocked. Two-line pass against the Generals will bring the face-off back into the Oshawa zone.
The Generals have got problems coming out of their end when Cornwall gets into a deep forechecking pattern. They've got such great young legs that they can stay right on top of the Oshawa defense, and if they continue to forecheck the way they're forechecking, they're going to get some turnovers. And here's a great example of Trevor Burgess being just belted in an attempt to get the puck out of his own zone. Unfortunately, Cornwall couldn't pick up the loose puck.
And Marcus Middleton just stepped right in on Trevor Burgess, and Middleton likes to play a physical hockey game, and you saw evidence of that right there. 11 minutes gone, opening period, 2-1. The Generals are leading. Out at center, handled by Chad Sampson, native of Cornwall, called up from the Messina Americans, a Tier 2 play. And they play just across the bridge in Messina, New York. Sampson, right point, didn't get all of that shot, and the Generals come away. At center, on the wing, and Cote trying to squeeze through, doesn't have the puck. It's along the boards and now cleared. And David Kravich, veteran defenseman for the Gens, will have to come back and get it. Royals will change on the go. Tipped by Lutz at center. Back into his own zone goes Richard Raymond, an underage from Bramalea. Played junior B hockey in Bramalea last year with the Blues. Cody right out in front, one man back. It's Raymond, got a weak shot away, and it's kicked out by Dykman. Into the corner, a bouncing puck. Lutz tries to center. He's denied by Smith. Now they pile in there. The puck came loose, and Weaver works along the boards. Can he get a hold of it? Paul Coleman is caught in the middle. And it comes loose for Richard Raymond behind the net. Raymond up on the wing. It will be cleared by Vandenbush to center. Penalty is coming up on the play, and it's going to be against the Oshawa Generals by the looks of it. And so a Cornwall power play coming up.
What's that power play time? 7:49.
Power play coming up for the Royals. We've had two penalties in the game. Both have resulted in goals. One aside, and the Royals looking to get even here if they possibly can, as they send out Lafayette, Bannock, and Stevenson up front. Tom Nemeth will go back and get it. He'll be the quarterback in this power play. Has an outstanding shot from the point. Gets a lot of his goals from back there with a man advantage. Bannock will carry number 6 for the Royals, a former Oshawa General. He plays it in the corner. Puck is loose along the boards. Stevenson, Bannock out of the corner to Nemeth. Let's go with a shot. Tipped in front. Lafayette can't get a stick on it. It's played back. And Guy Levesque does a good job keeping the puck away from Eric Lindros. Nemeth off the boards. Played it back. And it escapes Bannock and is out at center with Pearson back forechecking on the play. Tom Nemeth, number 24 for Cornwall. Plays it in around the wall. Brathwaite intercepted along the boards. It's turned over. Cleared to center, and Nemeth with it there. And there's 1:05 left in the penalty to the Generals. In behind the net, Lafayette digs it out. Back to the right point. Here's Levesque shot, and he has a good one, and it got through. Generals will clear to center ice. Nemeth taking it there, plays it ahead on the left wing boards. Bannock after a loose puck. Can't come up with it. Stevenson will. Centering pass in front, and Brathwaite gets the stick on it, and it deflects all the way out to center ice. 38 seconds left in the Cornwall power play. In over the line, right out in front to Levesque shot, and Brathwaite got a piece of it, and then it just slid off the post. Kavanaugh tries to center. Right out in front, it's intercepted now. Clancy can't hit his man. Reed went to the net, now takes the pass. Reed will go back to Kavanaugh, but the puck is stopped along the way, and it will be cleared the length of the ice by Matt Hoffman. And the penalty drawing to a close, just 10 seconds remaining in it. Lutz getting set to come back on. Here come the Royals. Not enough time for another rush, especially now as Burgess breaks up the play at center ice. Kavanaugh back in his own zone. The Generals kill off the penalty, and they maintain the 2-1 lead. Clancy hit on the boards by Hollis, a loose puck out at center, and here's Burgess with it once again. Almost intercepted. Reed got in the way of the pass. It finds Grieve on the far boards. They all pile in there, As sticks go high, and now some shoving results. 5 minutes and 29 seconds left in the opening period as the Oshawa Generals lead the Cornwall Royals by a score of 2-1.
Matt Hoffman.
They'll make that Matt Hoffman looking on as he was in the penalty box. Now he's coming out of the penalty box. So they try and settle this penalty situation, if indeed there is any. First of all, we're going to look at last night's action on the Brood out of town scoreboard. And the Generals defeating Kingston 10-5. I hear things got a little out of hand there toward the end of the game as the fans began to get involved. London 5, Windsor 3. And turnabout is fair play after a 3-1 loss to the Spitfires earlier. The Ottawa 67s held off Detroit, beat them 6-4. And Niagara Falls Thunder with a 6-1 victory over the Kitchener Rangers last night.
Things are becoming somewhat confusing here. I thought Matt Hoffman had picked up an elbowing penalty for trying to come to the defense of Brian Grieve on that play against the boards a few minutes ago, and he even went so far as to get into the penalty box, but then was ushered out, and I guess we're playing 5-5 again.
No penalties on the play, but a certain amount of discussion led us to believe that there might be. Both teams at full strength, centering pass right out in front, and the goaltender Rob Dykeman is there to hold on. He had Claire Cornish on his doorstep.
It's interesting to note, Jack, that many of the offensive forays on the Generals' part have gone deep into the net area, and the Cornwall defense are not meeting them physically the way they should be meeting them. The Generals have established control in front of the net. There's nobody down on their back. There's nobody shoved aside. They're basically just touching each other out there, which means the Generals should have control of the front of the net, and you've seen 2 goals already, albeit one on a power play from around the front of the net, plus numerous offensive scoring opportunities.
Rob Dykeman was one of 5 goaltenders that the Royals had in camp earlier this season, and it was the decision to go with 2 youngsters, 2 promising youngsters. Dykeman is one. You don't look at the goals against average here. They're a young team, and he faces a lot of shots in a game, but he's rated 5th among goaltenders for the NHL draft. That speaks volumes for the future of this youngster, along with his mate Ilpo Kauhanen from Finland. Offside Royals. Levesque broke in with Stevenson, and Stevenson was offside to his left.
I'm impressed very much with this Nathan Lafayette's play in the first period. Not only has he scored a beautiful goal, but he's made a couple of fine checks on the Oshawa defense that have forced turnovers in the Oshawa zone. Haven't been really brutal, hard body checks, but they've been nudge checks that have taken the defense out of the play and turned the puck over to his teammates.
Dale Craigwell on the face-off with Levesque, and the Gens have it out at center. The pass by Lewick down in the right wing corner. Taken by Kavanaugh behind the net. Plays it up on the right wing boards. Levesque can't get out. Turned over. Here's Lewick working in for a shot right on. And the elbow saved by Dykeman. In behind the net. Sampson ties up his man. It's loose in the corner, and here's Scott Lewick with it, number 14, passing out in front. Craigwell took a shot at it, and it's blocked. Lewick feeding it in for Craigwell. Has to get turned around. Maneuvering in along the boards to the side of the net, and now behind. Craigwell comes around the other side, still has the puck. Centers it in front, and Guy Levesque will intercept, and the Royals come out to center. 2-1.